Yeah, it was it's a sad state of things in general. Where are you based?
I'm in Oakland, California.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, Bay
Nice.
Area.
I moved here. We're in Denver, obviously, but I moved here from SF. So,
Oh, nice. Yeah, very cool.
which part of Oakland are you in?
Pardon?
Which part of Oakland are you in?
West North Oakland, so like right on the border of Emeryville and like
Okay.
Oakland. Yeah, off the battle line. We just moved from the Sunset like mid pandemic. Yeah, it was just like
Went
this.
to the countryside.
And all of a sudden, like our money just went so much further in Oakland
Yeah.
than in the city.
Oh, totally, man. Like
In the case,
I was paying like maybe $5,000 a month in rent in SF,
yep.
and now my mortgage is probably half that, and I have like a 4,000 square foot house instead of a 1,100 square foot apartment.
Jade's actually been making that case for me to move to Denver.
Yeah, Denver's great, man. Question: are you presenting today?
No, I'm just here in support of Jade.
Okay, cool, great. I appreciate you joining us then.
Yeah, definitely.
So, what do you do? Are you an entrepreneur as well, or?
I'm actually, I do a few things. I am the account manager for Mobilize, so I actually work for Mobilize as well. And
Cool.
then you're familiar with Blue Bottle Coffee?
Yeah, of course.
I'm on their operations team.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love Blue Bottle. This is it.
Yeah. So Blue Bottle and Mobilize pretty much takes up all of my time right now. But that's good. I'm into it, you know? Yeah.
That's great.
Very nice.
Where's the Blue Bottle headquarters?
Oakland.
In Oakland? Oh, it is. Oh, yeah, that's right. Like it's like by the water, right?
It's down. That was the very first like roastery and everything down by the water.
That was the one I was thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. That one's been around a long time. But Old Town Oakland is our office, our main office. Yeah.
Nice.
We have
That's awesome.
A Japan location, Korea location, Hong Kong.
Is it Korea location? No joke.
Yeah, that market is huge. Actually, they love us. It's crazy.
I find it interesting because I would say like I don't know that Denver has great coffee per se. Like I'm not a coffee snob in any way, but I think a lot of people in Colorado do think we have good coffee.
Yeah. I've had good coffee when I visit. Like I'm never too bummed out. Sometimes you have to like go to the hipster neighborhood, but it is what it is.
Totally. Yeah. So there is some interesting, stuff here. I think, where I've been that is a big coffee place though is Australia. Like those people are,
yeah,
they're hardcore. Like they literally think they're the best in the world. Like
they do. They claim it.
But all their coffee comes from elsewhere, no? Right? Like
all important.
I mean, in general, all coffee comes from elsewhere, or not here, like where it's consumed usually.
If we stay on this climate pattern, California will be able to grow coffee soon, which is scary.
Yeah, that is kind of nuts.
Totally.
Wow.
How many people are signed up to attend?
I have no idea. We usually get like 15 to 30, depending on the week. But also today's like
totally.
Morning after the election, and a lot of people are up late. Who knows what
I was thinking about that as I came on this morning. Like I wonder like how many people are going to show up for meetings today, and like
I mean, yesterday I was completely unproductive, which probably is the day I should have tried to be productive, because today I'm more going to be monitoring things than probably yesterday.
Yeah, right. For sure.
Oh man, are you native Californian, or are you
native Californian?
Nice.
Grew up in Sacramento. Been in
nice.
there like 15 years. Spent some time in LA. Didn't love it.
Yeah, we only have one presenter today also, so.
Right on.
So yeah, so work, I guess, so, he'll have more time. Hey, Holly.
Morning.
What a poly.
Morning. Oh.
What are some 4-letter words that are positive? I'll tell you the ones I've already tried. Help, info. Oh, yeah. Grow. I just added love and live, but I haven't tried them yet. I'm trying to generate a phone number.
4-letter word that's positive, huh? Nice.
Nice.
Kind.
Kind. Very good.
That's it. I don't know any more 4-letter words. Exhausted my list.
Thanks, y'all.
Lift.
Lift.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is very good.
Oh, yeah. When I got my Google Voice years ago, you could still pick like based on the number you wanted. So I actually managed to get the same last 4 as my actual cell phone number. So like it looks almost like my cell phone number, but now I don't think you can do that anymore.
Solid.
Yeah.
Jade, do you have any 4-letter words that are positive? We already have a list.
Oh, 4 letters?
We already have grow, love, live, nice, kind, and lift.
Are you looking at something?
My whiteboard, like it's gonna give me.
She's like, oh, I have my list of 4-letter words right here.
I have some words. How about gift?
Gift.
Gift. Good. How about good?
Good.
Oh, yeah.
How about whoa?
Whoa.
WHOA, yes. That's awesome.
All right. So is it Jade?
Yes, Jade.
You're presenting today. Do you want to do a quick test? Hi, I'm Greg, by the way.
Yeah. Hey, good morning.
Do you want to do a quick test? Or do you have a deck? I guess I should ask first.
I sure do. Yep. And I just tried to share, so I was going there, but
make you a co-host.
Sweet. And you intro. I mean, I've been to the in-person events. I've never been to a Zoom. You start, right? You do the stuff, and then.
Oh, I was gonna have you do it. Actually, is that okay? No, just kidding.
I mean, I could. You have a script? Send it over.
No. All right, good. Yours is working.
Yep. And I'll be going. There we go. Looks good.
Yeah, I don't know why Zoom by default starts zoomed in for me. Like there's a choice called fit to window. Why can't it just be that by default?
Cool.
Okay, fancy 3D transforms.
Yeah, thanks, Holly. That
Cool.
was great.
All right, so that'll be ready when we're ready. It's just you today, so you're going to get as many questions as you want.
Cool. What happened to the second presenter?
I don't know.
Great question.
It's been, we had one cancellation last week because of a fire, and then we've, I think like maybe like post-election or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just things going on.
Yeah. Cool.
So I don't know where everyone is. Usually there's people here already. So it may just be questions from Holly and I.
which would be
What do
great.
you
Romeo,
think?
you are not allowed to ask any questions because there are no softballs allowed here.
Like, what's your favorite color? And what do you eat for breakfast?
Oh yeah, you could do colors also. Blue,
Cyan.
pink, cyan,
Favorite color.
ruby.
Fire.
Jade.
What are we doing with these 4 words? Is there a plan?
Don't
Yeah.
ask questions. Just keep giving answers.
No, I'm rating numbers on bandwidth. That's all.
Oh, got it. You're messing with phone numbers. Okay.
I'm going to be really good at this in the end, so I'm going to be the one to.
Yep.
So Jade, are you in Denver? Is that right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. We're normally in our offices in Rhino, but we went remote for the rest of the week just to.
Rest of the week. It's about to be for the rest of the year, I think.
Well, we're working on a dev project that our dev team has to be in the office for security purposes. So
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. This week was the election remote.
Yeah.
That was.
I think we're like over 10% right now. So I have this like sad suspicion that we're going to get to level 4 pretty quickly.
Yeah. That'll be interesting for us.
Have numbers been growing in Denver?
Yeah, it's been crappy.
Yeah, they're trying to open the Bay Area back up, and I'm like, you guys, just let's finish out the year.
Yeah.
The problem is, Bay Area just never really opened back up, right? It's still been
Not completely. Yeah, but now they've been like, let's do it, and I'm like, we're like, wait a second. It's weird.
we're pretty open, but I think it's just the bars and the other nonsense that keeps. We had schools, and then we had like a lot of bars. I think was one source of a lot of the problems, and then Colorado also we're surrounded kind of like by a bunch of dumber states. So there's a lot of seepage from like other parts of the country. Like a lot of Texans come here, like they go in the mountains, and then like the mountains have outbreaks.
Oh.
It's true.
Are you in Denver?
Now we're the plagued ones. Like people are like, yeah, if you come from Colorado, we got to check you before you come into our state.
Seriously.
You're in Denver too, yeah?
Yeah, I live in Central Park, formerly Stapleton.
Yep. Thanks for saying that, because I was like, I forgot that's the name.
That finally got renamed.
I think it's literally only the people who live here know that it changed, because
we actually, our branding agency worked on the Rename Stapleton campaign for years. So very familiar with that it needed to be renamed, but then it was like so much later that it actually happened. It was like probably 4 years ago, Holly, we started that campaign.
It was right when I started with you.
Yeah. That's crazy.
I think it was only after like George Floyd, I think, or something, like was when there was like the big push, and then it kind of like, got it changed. I mean, the name sucks though. Like it's like
Central Park. Yeah.
Even worse is inside of here we have like all these other sub neighborhoods. So I live in Wicker Park in Central Park. So it's like the most meta place ever. Right?
Some of the names were cool too. There was the one that was like after the airman and his family, right?
Yeah, they had like, I personally think not naming it after a person was better, just because like clearly eventually
that didn't go well.
Some asshole comes up with some way to find like a bad thing about a person, right? Like
that's true.
So like I was happy with like any of the other names like that were just not just whatever, like aviation or whatever. They had like other, I don't know why we have a whole airport. I mean, it used to be an airport, so everything here is like airport themed. But
it's true.
Like, I mean, all of our pools, we have pools, which is cool, but they're all named after like aeronautic stuff, like F-45 and Mavericks. And it's like, really? Like,
So good.
yeah, it's kind of terrible.
Central
Wonder if we're in
Park.
the
All
wrong-
you can think
maybe
of
we're
is
in the
New
wrong
York.
room.
That was just bad branding.
Yeah.
Like, are you
Central
in New
Park.
York?
Yeah, I'm from New York, so like, yeah, I'm
Oh.
like, it's a problem.
Right. But like where you are in New York, Central Park couldn't be much different.
Yeah, let me just make sure we're in the right room. Oh, actually, wait, you got here from the link, right?
Yeah,
So,
we did.
yes,
We did.
This must be better. All right. Because I was like, wait a minute. I don't usually start the meeting, so that's why I was kind of like, oh, maybe I started it wrong.
I know. I wonder what everyone's doing.
I didn't even go to the gym this morning. I was just not feeling it.
What'd you think of that first Mandalorian episode?
I have not watched it yet.
What?
I actually
screen?
I have not even finished watching the first season. Yeah, that's how far behind I am. So
I won't.
Morning, Allie.
Good morning,
Allie's,
guys.
Allie is is our lead organizer
Woo!
for 1 Week Denver. Hey, Paul, how are you? Lauren's very red right now.
Yes, good morning.
How do you do that? That's cool. I want to be just a blob of color.
Yeah.
No, it's actually, I'll turn it around. It's actually
I was about to guess, it's like your finger. Like
that's how you do that.
There you go. Allie did it.
Finger makes it orange, not red. Not as cool.
All right. Well, how's everyone doing today? All the newcomers, all you people with hangovers, clearly.
Slightly tired, yes.
I think I fell asleep I went up to bed at 1, but that was after I'd already passed out on the couch. So I'm not sure what time I actually fell asleep.
I think I had assumed we weren't gonna know until like we weren't gonna know last night, so I just went to bed. It's like, I
couldn't tolerate that feeling, so I just had to drink until I couldn't stay awake anymore.
I definitely had like a little bit of like heartburn or something going on. I was like,
I definitely had heartburn the other parts, which were doing terrible.
Oh, really?
Just like the House and the Senate, and like
Oh,
those
yeah.
nasty people getting another run at it.
Oh, well, there's only, I mean, I don't even have anything positive to say.
Lakewood did get recreational marijuana. So there was
great.
Who did?
some small.
Who did?
Lakewood.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
And
they
the
did
abortion
have-
ban. And the abortion ban did not pass. So that was a big win.
That was good.
That was a big win. Yep. No more Corey Gardner. There's some wins.
I mean, no more Corey Gardner is a huge win for sure.
Yeah.
But I guess it's just like it felt like it was going to be a much bigger kind of wave kind of thing, and then
That did not work out. That New York Times map where you like click through the switching people who
You ever seen
voted.
that TikTok where it's like the baby voice and it's like, what the hell, right? Like it felt like all of last night felt like that.
Oh man.
What's up, Gio?
Hey, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Morning. Allie, I got in touch with your peeps there at the social media agency.
Oh, you did? Oh, great. Ashley and Rachel?
Yeah, I haven't got to talk to them yet, but I put in for a discovery session.
Great. Yeah, they're awesome.
Yeah, I could tell they're doing good stuff for you. So It's actually what I do as well, but they're doing it better. So I want to learn from them, get some coaching and some consulting.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they would be down for that for sure.
Yeah, it seemed like it. They had helped another agency, it looked like, in their case studies. So yeah.
Cool. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad because yeah, she's amazing and I want to support her however I can. So
Is that a gifting to you guys, or is that something that you have to pay for?
right now we are, since we're raising money, you know, it's in good faith until we are able to.
Okay. I didn't know if you guys were like a nonprofit or a profit business.
No, yeah, we're for profit. But yeah, that's why, you know, I like that. I like that it's not clear.
Yeah, you look big. That's one of the things that I like about the whole thing. Looks whatever, you know, everything that you're doing, it looks like it's a big effort. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot involved. So that's one of the things that the social media is doing. It just makes it look like you're up to big things.
Awesome. Yeah, we're really excited about this new campaign we're going to do. It's called Stay Home for Small Business. And we're going to match teachers with local businesses. And they're going to stream a class from the business. And then the business can like offer, you know, get some more exposure that way. So hopefully we can support people.
Yeah.
While we're going back into the, yeah. So yeah, she's doing wonderful.
Good. Do I see that we just have one presenter today?
That's right.
Okay.
Unless someone else wants to present.
I want to, but I'm not quite ready. I'm not ready today. So, but I'll put my
nonsense.
Thank you. Okay.
If you're an entrepreneur, you're always ready to pitch.
Yeah, I'll pitch if you need somebody to go.
There you go. See,
Okay.
Gio? See how it's done?
I see it.
I have one too, if ever. I pitched. I pitched at the Seattle 1 Million Cups.
Yeah, how was it?
You know, it was okay. There weren't a lot of people, unfortunately, so I didn't get a lot of questions. So other than that.
That's interesting. Did you find out whether that's normal? I would have thought that Seattle would be a pretty active community.
Yeah, it wasn't. I mean, I think Denver is the largest one I go to. I was just at the one for Orlando, and I think there was 18 people there, but I don't like their format. It's interesting. They have only one person ask questions, so everybody puts them in the chat, and then one person asks them, which I don't really like.
Yeah, that's silly.
I don't know. Yeah, that's the second one that does that.
I like this model. So, like, in that world, would I be the only one who gets to ask questions?
You would be the only one. You would ask the questions of people who wrote them in the chat. So, you know, the dulcet tones of, you know.
Oh, so someone's reading like questions from the
chat box.
I guess, I mean, I sort of understand there's like some operational efficiency maybe like in doing it that way, but I feel like you don't get necessarily the
right community empathy. Voice.
It's really not. It becomes about the one person. I won't go back because of that, because I don't like it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hear you. All right, it's 9. I guess we'll get going.
Okay, cool.
Lauren, so we will have 6 minutes for the presentation, and then we will have like 15 minutes for Q&A. So you can go second since you're just going to get prepared right now. And I will go through the normal warm-up of things that we're supposed to show now. Why did it make it so hard to present 2 things in here? All right, let's try this. Oh, wait, do I need to pick a tab? No. Share computer sound. Okay. Share. What the heck is this? Yeah, it's visible?
Yes.
Okay, cool. What the hell? Sorry, this is a little goofy. So welcome everyone, 1 Million Cups Denver. I believe most of our friends here have been here before. Anyone new? Because
I am. This is my first time.
Who's first time? Who said that?
Lauren.
Oh, Lawrence, your first time? Oh, and Gretel, is it your first time also?
Correct.
Okay. Oh, now we have more people.
Hey,
All
this
right.
is
I guess
Scott, also my first time. Hello.
So we got 3. Anybody else? Romeo?
Romeo's first time. Okay, we have a lot of new people. Fine, I'll do the normal thing.
Okay.
So welcome to 1 Million Cups. If you have not been to one of these in the past,
Scoot.
no.
He wasn't muted.
Rule number 1, mute your mic when you're not speaking. If you do have a question, you can use the raise hand button. Of course, if there is also a chat, so at the bottom there's some buttons you can turn on the chat interface as well in case you want to chat with people. If you don't want to ask a question out loud, by all means, feel free to leave it in the chat, and Ali will do it in the tone of her voice for you later. We do ask or recommend, changing your name to include yourself, your pronouns, your job, your title, whatever you feel is just a great way to communicate a little bit more about you. Just so as we see the titles, we get to know a little bit more about who you are. There's video here. Do I have to play it?
Meh.
Nah, yeah, that's what I kind of think too. Today's MC is nobody. And so, yes, this is the best 1 Million Cups, obviously. That's why you're all here. And we meet every Wednesday at 9 a.m. It gives you a great slot for your mountain time shows because you can also still do one later. We will have 6-minute presentations. We do not do pitches because we are not trying to sell here. We're trying to get feedback on our ideas, our businesses. Very important to note, we discuss the ideas, not the people. It's not about you per se. So you shouldn't be attacking people personally, and ideally don't take things personally. But it's okay. And we hope that you will be open and transparent and vulnerable in the sharing of your ideas and your thoughts. Oh, I didn't make the poll, but Ali, can you do the count? All right, Ali's gonna do the count. We do this poll. We have to report it back to headquarters. That's how we get it.
Will you make me a host so I can do?
Yeah. Hold on one sec. Oh man, this is complicated now. Ali Moore, host. Okay. Does that make me not the host? Okay, either way.
No, I think you're good.
Okay, good. All right. So thank you also to all of our sponsors. We have a lot of great folks in the Denver community that we work with. Colorado Lending Source has been like our foundational sponsor, I think, for like 10 or 11 years that like this group's been running actually. We used to work at a place called Enterprise, but we haven't been there in a while either. We also do a lot of, we've been trying or testing working out of green spaces where Ali is. Is that where you are now? Yep. And also, Ali and I and a number of others, we're all volunteers. There you go. That's green spaces. So Good Elephant, Foundercraft, etc. Since we have some new people, do we have 3 volunteers to introduce yourself or say hello and tell us a little bit about who you are and where you're from? I can also call on people.
I can start.
There we go.
Perfect. My name is Gretel Stingley. I've been in the Denver area for about 8 years now. I am the business development manager for a company called MyTech Partners. We are managed IT services for small to medium-sized companies. Do I consider myself an entrepreneur? Yes. I mean, I create my own business and I've always been in business development. And my favorite season, looking at these polls and just kind of going off this, is winter. I'm excited for it to come.
As a way better poll than what was your favorite number, Ali?
Yeah, much better. I can't take credit though. It just popped up and it was there, so I just launched it.
Oh, really? All right.
Yeah.
Well, Gretel, thank you for joining us. Thanks for being here. Do we have another volunteer?
I'll jump on in. I'm Gio Pensino, and I'm based here in Colorado Springs. I've been an entrepreneur my entire life, grew up in an entrepreneurial family, And what I do right now is I primarily focus in developing online training courses, helping people to take their expertise and monetize it with immersive online learning courses.
Awesome. Scott, how about you?
Hey there, good morning. Hey, so I'm based in Denver and I've been out here for the last maybe 5 years or so. I'm a consultant. I work for a company called Accenture. So truthfully, supposed to be at work. I'm kind of squeezing in here today. Truthfully, not yet an entrepreneur, but very much would love to escape the rat race and working to do that. So trying to build a network here in Denver and interested in getting involved in real estate is maybe my next move and trying to find some passive income. And so I would love to connect and get to know you all. Glad to be here.
Thanks for being here, Scott. Appreciate it. Anyone else want to say hi since we may have a moment? Oh, all right. No worries. We'll get you later.
Sorry, I'll say hi.
Oh, there you go.
Hi. I just wanted to say hi and introduce myself. I am a data science student, and I'm just trying to network as much as I can in the Colorado area. So, and learn about sort of the tech that's being deployed in the Front Range. So, my name's Michelle. By the way, I'm based in Telluride, and I'm studying data science with Thinkful. If anyone is familiar with that.
You're showing up as iPhone, Michelle.
Got it. My name is iPhone. No, I'm just kidding. It's Michelle. I'm not sure why, but it's nice to meet you all. I'm really excited to learn more about the entrepreneurial community in Denver. So thanks for doing this.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being here. Now, coming up later, we will have an opportunity for you to announce any community events that you're doing. So just put your thinking caps on in case there's anything you'd like to tell us or share with the rest of the folks here. So at 1 Million Cups, we do a number of different types of presentations. And so we want to make sure that this is inclusive of the entire ecosystem. So we don't want you to think that you have to have like a fully baked business. We welcome like idea stage pitches, like literally if you're like, I wonder if this is a good idea or should I try this as a business? Product pitches if you've already developed your product, investor pitches if you're trying to raise money. If you have like expertise in a certain area and you'd love to share it to the community, we'd love to have you come back as well. If you have an organization or if you've presented in the past, we'd love to hear from you as well. So lots of different kinds of opportunities. As much as we love business, like, actually seeing new companies, we also love educating ourselves and enriching, our knowledge. So we welcome you to join in over time. So today we have two presenters. I have data on one of them for now. So Lauren's going to catch us up later. But we're going to start off with Mobilize Comms. Mobilize Comms is an accessible data collection and texting and communication platform helping organizations gather information quickly and effectively, achieving a 98% view rate on all messages. That's pretty awesome. Jade, I'm going to hand it to you. I'm going to stop sharing and I will let you share your presentation and then we will be off to the races. How do I stop sharing now?
I think I can just take it from you. Let me see. Yeah. Awesome. Can everybody see my screen okay?
Yep.
Yes. Awesome. Well, first off, thanks so much for having us. We used to come to your events at Enterprise. Our team is still at Enterprise and we're missing the community for sure. My name is Jade Bransky. I'm the CEO of Mobilize Comms. And our company is, like you said, an accessible texting platform. We really do focus though on data collection. So we sort of set ourselves apart in the market with that piece of intake and feature set. And we have 12 dedicated employees. We're one of the very few texting companies that has their dev team in-house and on shore. So we're here in the United States, our entire team. And we have over 75% women, which I am extremely proud of. Relatively rare in the tech startup space. And we've actually been around for 15 years, but my partner and I bought Mobilize almost 2 years ago now. So we're definitely in startup mode. And what I'm going to show you today for the product is brand new. The old version of the product, we essentially, that code base is dead. It will no longer be touched. And we're moving into the future with new technology, which is really exciting. And just to give you a sense of like our culture and our purpose, we're really all about unleashing effective, powerful, and accessible technology and communication for everyone. So definitely really committed to that people can get the same communication, whether they have access to Wi-Fi or not, whether they have a laptop or not, whether they have a computer at home or not, right? So that's our jam. And just a few of our customers, we work with federal government, lots of states, cities, counties, large nonprofit organizations who need to send immediate communications out. And that just gives you a little bit of flavor to get a sense of who we work with. And I love to share these demographics. This is definitely more in the like sort of subject matter expert realm. This has nothing to do with our product, but I think it's really helpful to know that 97% of Americans text at least once a day. It is the most accessible form of communication. And once you start to get into different demographics, like Latinos, for example, text an average of 49 messages per day. So we've run lots of campaigns that are dual language. We work with the census here in Colorado, which is really exciting. And one of the other pieces that I like to share is, you know, this is actually not an ageist form of communication. I think a lot of people ask me, well, if I want to communicate with people over a certain age, you know, should I use text? And the answer is mostly yes. Like it's on an uphill climb with every demographic, regardless of age. And obviously millennials, even, you know, I'm an older millennial, but I would prefer text. If you listen to my voicemail, it says, please send me a text. Please do not leave me a voicemail, right? We've all seen that. And this gets us into the digital inequality. If anybody's interested, by the way, in these slides, I'm happy to share them. But this is really interesting to know that the internet is really not as accessible as those of us who live in sort of the big city world think it might be. So there's actually over 33 million people, and this number, depending on where people move, tends to climb, who don't have any access to Wi-Fi or the internet. So if we're sending emails or we're trying to communicate with them through some, you know, website, it's literally impossible for them to get access to that. So I like to point out that digital inequality piece. And 96% of people do own a device capable of receiving SMS. So we've worked with folks experiencing homelessness. We're about to launch a campaign with the Native American community here in Colorado. So in the world of accessibility, texting is extremely easy, and most people actually already have a device that can get an SMS text message, which is just a regular old text. This is the fun part. So if everybody has your phones on you, which I'm assuming you do, you want to pull them out real quick and give you guys a flavor of this. You get to choose your own adventure. Open up a new text message, and I'm either going to have you text access if you want to see just a plain text, or the word data if you want to see the survey collection. Either one of those is going to give you an automated response, and you'll kind of get to go through the flow. This is really kind of the bread and butter of our product, right? Think automation, pre-built messages. We can send resources in this first message. We can link people to websites, things like that. Really get creative. And this is our sweet spot as a company is in the data space, like I said. But these pieces are really the problems that we see. Like most of our clients that come to us are having some issue with, they either use paper or they're trying to collect data on a website and they're just not getting the data they want. It's not secure, so they're having issues with like HIPAA compliant information just being all over the place. And our platform is really all about solving for those problems across the board. So everything's HIPAA compliant, we're military level security, we work with the Air Force, right? And we've built this to be incredibly simple intentionally, right? Our platform is not one where you'll get feature shock, because we built it to not do that to people. And just a few, I just want to touch on one thing here. The data being at the source. So the fact that our clients get their data directly from their customers is a huge differentiator in the market. For most, you know, survey or data collection tools, there's like some in between, like either a broker or there's a version of it where they're doing it on paper still. And ours is literally straight to the mobile device into the database, which I love. And this is a quick experience. So we actually have worked with the Colorado Department of Health and Human Services right when COVID hit, to take that old, not streamlined paper system. Anybody who went to a food bank was still having to fill out 18 questions. Obviously, that was not safe during pandemic times. So we worked with them to utilize the technology to create a hands-free contactless distribution process. So this just walks you through the steps, but imagine you get to the food bank, there's signage, you text in, you get your survey link back, you complete the survey, you show the confirmation screen through your window, your food gets placed in your trunk. Literally nobody touches anyone, there's no windows being rolled down. And we're in the process of actually working with Pueblo County to build out an even more customized version of this with them. And that one is really near and dear to my heart because the woman that we're working with got COVID within 2 weeks of like right after March hit, so right before April. She had a client accidentally sneeze, and it was like the moment where you just know, like, we're too close, this is not good. and she did get COVID. So she's really committed that food banks are not places where staff and volunteers are put in danger, just for people to be able to get their food and have their necessities met. So we're really very passionate about this particular audience. And these are just the core features. So of course, texting. We have lots of feature sets that really specifically hone in on grassroots and nonprofit organizations. So being able to send a device or a message directly from your phone, you don't need Wi-Fi, you don't need to log into our system. So for example, if you're at an event or if you're in a natural disaster situation, the person can just send a text to 1 million people literally from their phone, which is pretty amazing. And we offer unlimited admins, all kinds of features on the back end where we don't put limits, and a lot of our market does. You know, they tend to do that seat model. We don't use that model. We use the get everyone into the account and do what you need to do. And we're going to support you with that. And last but not least, a couple things that would be amazing for us from this community. And the first is any introductions to any of those food bank contacts. We're in the process of working with many of them, and you know, the opportunity to get to show them and share what we've built is really powerful for us and oftentimes for them as well. So it's a great collaborative opportunity. And for anybody who's interested or wants to see a demo, and we actually have our account manager, Romeo, is on the Zoom too. He should wave. He's in the Bay Area, but he does demos and is really, really committed that we get feedback from the community. So what features do you think we should add? What are we missing? What are you excited about? That type of thing. And if you did want to schedule a demo in that exact same text message, you can text the word demo. It's going to send you a link to schedule. And with that, I'm going to stop talking and take questions. And I think that everyone just gets to ask questions. It's different than in person.
Yeah, absolutely. So I find it easier if you don't share your screen, just because we get back to faces.
And
yep,
I'll turn it off.
Does anyone have any questions? I'll have you just raise hands. If not, I always have questions. Gio's got a question. I'll let him go first.
So yeah, I really love your love the product. It seems like it's boy, just in a hot spot in the marketplace right now for a lot of different reasons.
Yeah.
Are you working with online educators or marketing companies? It seems like a natural area right now.
Yeah, we have some customers in Colorado that more from like our network, right, who work with us because they know us. We don't have any national or larger organizations in that space, but very interested.
Okay. And are you able to import contacts from like social media? That's where most marketers are using kind of text. You know, I don't know if it's exactly the exact right word or not. Like I get a little confused on the technology platforms, but we're texting through Facebook app, right? Are you able to download and connect and get contacts through those lists?
So fortunately, unfortunately, no, but I'll tell you why, because it starts to make more sense if you think about this particular form of communication is native to your device. So Gio, I would have to have your phone number and I have to have your consent. So like a good example of where most of us have not given consent is political texts. And that's because there's a gray area in that space. Our platform requires digital consent. So perfect world, they would opt themselves in. So an example, Gio, for you would be a social media campaign where people text in for a high value, exclusive type of resource or add-on coupon, way to engage that's outside of social media.
I see. So I could import my telephone numbers, or is that basically how it would work? I'd import my telephone numbers and then ask for consent at the beginning.
That is an option. Yes. Yep. You got it.
Email is an option as well.
So you can have people opt in via email. So there's a widget where they can sign up like on a regular website style. And you'll see like lots of tech companies, you'll see the style where it's like, would you like to sign up for our email or text, or do you have a preference? So you could choose text over email. And that's a pretty standard, it's definitely becoming a best practice to communicate with people the way that they choose. And the short answer is yes, Gio, you can sign up via email.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Okay. Is it appropriate for you? I know it's not a selling platform or anything like that, but is it appropriate to share any information about what the fees are to get set up?
Yeah. Super accessible. So a 500 credit plan, which gives you 500 outbound messages, is $45 a month. includes unlimited data collection, unlimited contacts, unlimited admins. So in the market, it's a like pretty average price, but we have all that data collection feature set that's, it really is our gold star. You won't find it anywhere else.
Okay, cool. Well, I signed up for a demo, so I'll be talking to your folks.
Cool.
Yeah.
Love it.
Thanks, Gio.
Thanks, Gio.
Jade, I have some questions. I'm actually building the survey platform as well. So
yes,
pretty familiar with the space.
Yeah.
What I wasn't like, and I just may know the space better than others. So I'm curious, like, why is this different than say Mobilize or, you know, other platforms that are out there, you know, sort of like outbound SMS campaigns is not a new thing per se.
Nope.
And there's nothing wrong with trying again. Like, so I'm not like saying you shouldn't be doing something like that. I'm just kind of more curious, like, is it, are you imagining like the areas or use cases you're focusing on as sort of the differentiator? Like, cause the feature set, it's hard to win in the feature set. Like there's a fairly well-known set of knowns, right? Of like what kind of people expect, right? In the toolkit. Like for example, my business targets like influencers and social audiences. So that, you know, our differentiation is really just being in a different place more so than, not necessarily like, oh, we get better data than someone, right? So I'm just curious, like how you imagine or see it rolling out.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, when you buy a company that's been around for 13 years, you buy a lot of different things that aren't just the feature set, right? So we actually had over 100 legacy customers that literally just want to use outbound, to your point, like, and they don't want to change and they're never going to leave, and they've been with us for over a decade. So we do have that segment is committed and not going anywhere. But really, to your point, like where we stand out and where like our dev team is focused is the data collection and analytics. So like our newest modules and where we're building custom is around taking the data in and actually telling a story with that data. So our work with Pueblo County, for example, is all around reporting and automation and streamlining, you know, what was previously like a 38-step process down to 6 steps. So we're really more of an automation shop, but this is our entry point. This is the easiest way to start working with us using, you know, the outbound, inbound data collection. But really, our sweet spot's the analytics. For sure.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The thing I didn't see in your pitch, which I'm sure maybe is there, like, was you know, like segmentation or any other like sort of insights, you know, which I'm sure is either there or coming. But I feel like that's like table stakes now these days as well in our space.
And that's built into our standard platform. So like unlimited segmentation, groups, subgroups, all that. And this brand, Mobilize Comms, lives next to a brand called Mobilize Data. And they're siblings, but they do two different things. Entry point and then more custom modules, analytics.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate it. I'd love a demo. I'm happy to show you what I've been building as well.
Cool.
I shot you an email
Love that.
as well. Any other questions, folks? By all means, we got a chance to talk to a fellow entrepreneur.
Hi, Jade. I have a question.
Allie's got
one.
So this sounds awesome. And I love your emphasis on reaching those maybe underserved communities that don't have access to internet. And with my company, like I've always been really, concerned about how are we going to reach those people who maybe can't sign up for our classes on our app or, stuff like that. And so, so I'm just wondering, like, which I signed up for a demo and stuff. So I just wanted to say thanks for showing that part of it, because that was really a selling point for me, for my business, and what we're passionate about too. And so, like, I guess my question is how would those people who maybe only have access to a text message hear about it, or do you help in that way?
Right, like in the strategy campaign, into like the ambassador social side of things. That's the most typical way to build the list and get people engaged. Pre-pandemic, in-person events is a really common way. Most events you go to, if you look around, you will eventually find some text engagement situation, right? But like the Native American campaign that we're about to work on is very grassroots, very marginalized, like folks who we don't expect to go to events or to like run into an ambassador. So they're actually going to be doing more of a direct outreach to say, this is where you can get those resources. So if you call this number, we're going to give you the opportunity to also text and then get it this way so that you don't have to engage, with 211, for example, in Denver, where, that social services hotline. So being able to partner with other organizations too, to help get the word out is a really common way. But I do think that I saw your pitch. So I was there when you pitched.
Yeah, I had your card.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
I think for you specifically, the one-to-one outreach would be really powerful, and also the ambassador campaign setup where you have different ambassadors have different keywords so that you can actually sort of track what they're doing in engagement and like which populations they're getting the most feedback from. And that could be, both text messages and data collection. So you could actually use both pieces of the tool.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Because right now we're building out our referral programs and our ambassador programs, and like I just watched The Social Dilemma, and now I'm all like, let's not rely on social media for this. How we're trying to figure out how we can like spread virally without the like outside of the internet world, and with real people stuff. So this is kind of a cool thing where am I right in saying like one of our ambassadors could just be like, hey, text my little word to this number, and it'll send you the link to sign up. Okay.
Yep. And Romeo always points out, and probably wants to point out, that it's really relational in nature, right? So texting, like in the world of communication, is still personal, right? It is not gotten to that email level for most of us. So when we want to get that information, it tends to be a positive experience. When you get enrolled in a list that you don't want to be in, that's a different situation, but your ambassadors wouldn't do that, right? So you'd be building community around that relational, conversational style content, which I love in the context of what you're up to.
Cool. Okay, well, I'm excited for our demo.
Yeah.
We'll talk more.
Same. Cool.
Awesome.
Thanks, guys.
We still have a little bit. We have a few minutes left. If there are any other questions, if not, we'll get Lauren ready to pitch her or jump in for her new presentation.
Jade, yes. Hey, Jade, this has been awesome. Thanks so much for presenting. Quick question. It sounds like you bought your business that was already kind of started. It was 13 years in the making, you mentioned. I'm interested to know kind of your story. How did that happen? Did you find it online, or how did you get connected with the opportunity?
That's a really great question. Yeah, let me think of the short answer. Okay, so I have many of my team members on today. So Holly knows the story well. I also own a company called Joy Lab, which is full service digital branding and marketing. And after almost a decade of services and working for products become really, really attractive, right? Because you're a consultant, you know this well at Accenture, right? You're like, every project's different, everything's custom. You're the demand, right? And the product was like exciting, and we had been looking around. And I actually started a nonprofit called the Queer Business Alliance to mentor young LGBTQ folks that got connected with Good Business Colorado, which is an organization that increases minimum wage, paid family leave. They're amazing. You should check them out if you haven't looked them up and you want to be an entrepreneur. They're great. But the woman who's the executive director of Good Business Colorado used to own Mobilize, and she wanted to go into advocacy, and I wanted to go into product. And I did not make the highest offer at all, not even close. But our values alignment was so on point that she basically, she didn't give it to me. I did buy it, but for a very low price due to our alignment and our mission and what we were up to in life. And that is how I got the product. I had been looking around, but it was literally through a nonprofit connection. We started a business community together to help increase equity in Denver, and that was the catalyst.
That's awesome. Thanks a lot for sharing. It's really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's super cool. Yeah, I don't think we hear enough of people buying businesses, right? Like it's usually like starting something, but like there's a lot of great opportunities potentially. I don't know anyone who's an expert on that, but maybe we can try to find someone to talk about that, because I think it's a cool area for someone looking to enter entrepreneurship. Yeah. So Jade, thank you. Romeo, Holly, I think you also work with everyone.
Yes.
Right? Thank you all for presenting. I've left your info in the chat, but if you want to drop any other ways to get in touch, by all means, feel free to leave that in the chat as well. Next up, we have Lauren. Allie, can you hear us? I'm not, oh wait, what do you guys, is the host still? Can someone make Lauren a co-host? All right, because I can't, when I made Allie the host, I can't do anything now. Lauren, do you need to share your presentation or a deck?
I think
Yes.
Allie needs to do it.
Oh.
I know he's on the phone.
I tried, I can't.
Everyone wave at Allie. Allie, hey.
Allie.
Well, I can just start verbally if that's all right, and then I can.
Give me 1 sec. Let me message her on our Slack. Oh boy, fun times. All right, I think she saw my message.
Yeah, the resolution in the future is like you can make somebody a co-host, and that way you can take it back as well.
Allie needed to be the host so that she could make the poll, and then, but that would remove me as any. I don't know why would it remove me entirely from any part of the hosting chain.
Okay, well, it's up. Making some good humor, anyways.
Yeah, there we go. I can't get through to Allie. All right. Well, Lauren, why don't we have you start? Unfortunately, I'm sorry, and we'll get your slides up afterwards.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity to present this morning. I've founded a company called iProSay, and it's spelled P-R-O-S-A-Y. It's a spinoff of being in court and self-representing. The idea is to keep matters outside of court. And iProSay was going to start in bars and restaurants, and COVID took place, but it's an on-site response to mental, behavioral, and interpersonal conflict. So we dispatch responders to de-escalate the conflict. And that leads into our mission statement, which is to provide intermediary and/or de-escalation services by responding on-site to callers who are experiencing non-violent, non-life-threatening conflicts, mental or behavioral conflict situations. So our services are an alternative to legal actions while we preserve the individual's constitutional and civil rights. And with that said, do people know their civil and constitutional rights? This day and age and the turmoil that's gone on specifically over the summer, a lot of rights have been infringed upon, specifically by law enforcement. And we're here to offer an alternative to any kind of legal actions. So our training involves national providers. We will train on, mental health, intoxication, substance abuse. It could be family quarrels or partnership quarrels. People get in altercations, and one number people know how to call is 911. And we see the system has been abused and overused because it's free to one party and costs the other party a life. It's quite expensive to be processed through the system and in the legal judicial system, excuse me. So we can be as simple to call as, a plumber or an electrician to your house. We want to take a half an hour, figure out what needs to happen amongst parties, offer resources that are short-term solutions, and then also be able to provide long-term ongoing help. So it's a self-selected process to call iProSay to receive responders. And our phone lines are not live yet, but we are looking in the winter of 2020 or 2021 to start our service. And a
Sorry,
few
real quick,
asked,
Lauren,
oh.
there's a button there that said reclaim host. I'm the host again, so I made you a co-host if you had slides.
Yes, I will share right quick here. We've gone through, you know, the mission, and these are a few of our training providers. Sought after partnerships. We registered with the Secretary of State in April of 2019. Again, you know, there's short-term resources. Maybe somebody needs to leave the premise. And then there's also ongoing resources for, you know, seeking long-term help. I was amazed at Whittier neighborhood. That's where we're going to start our services. You know, on numerous city blocks, there are signs, call 911, call 911, neighborhood watches, call 911. Well, I think our media has covered some of the recent law enforcement responses and how they've unfavorably been resolved. So our intention is to use communication in order to de-escalate and resolve the situation. Again, getting to market, you know, we could afford a training base. We're also looking at maybe Medicaid and how people could bill insurance for our services. And then we're also wanting to recruit mental and behavioral health peer volunteers. Our belief is that people don't need to be licensed with a number of trainings. We will provide the training. We want to keep it simple, applicable, and some people's characteristics and personalities are better suited for being responders than others. Funding sources is always a plus. Our data and analytics will drive our business insights for further committee planning and build out into further neighborhoods. So we're going to operate a 6-month pilot and see what the statistics look like and come back as.
Oh, were you all done or?
And that's yep, the conclusion of the short presentation.
Thanks. Well, thank you for sharing that. That's actually awesome. I really appreciate what you're saying because there is such a huge, it's like using a sledgehammer as the solution, sort of like the police, right? For every problem, right? I guess I'll start because I just had a quick question. You mentioned you were like going to start with bars and other things. One of the questions I have about how you sort of reconcile, a lot of the things that you were describing sort of happen like in the heat of a moment, right? And how do you, it feels like a very difficult thing to build the awareness to be that layer that I go to before going to the police. Like, because 911 is tattooed on like everyone's brain, right? Like as a way to sort of manage it. And I know like some cities do like 311 or like there's other thing, but even then I don't think a lot of people use those, and they're still even offered at the city level. So I was just curious, like if you've had success in growing that, because I feel like the reactive stuff seems a lot harder to sort of interject yourself into, but maybe like proactive stuff seems like a way bigger category. I mean, not that there's a lot of reactive things, but it feels like the more winnable opportunity is probably the proactive stuff, like where someone sees a pattern and it's like, let's try to solve something. So I'm just curious if you could share some thoughts.
Yeah, a few keywords we put in our mission is nonviolent and non-life threatening. So, suicides, we don't find that we are capable of handling and intervening in suicides. I think there's a whole nother solution for that, and there are hotlines to date. As far as nonviolent, a lot of domestic is perpetual and, reaches a point that somebody breaks and, calls the police. I've known both sides. I've known generationally people who use the legal system to abuse other people and to continue abusing other people. I also know, one couple has called the police on their partner and didn't realize, it becomes out of their hands, and then it goes to the state is pushing the charges against the partner. Even if one, party wants to drop the charges, it's in the state's hands, and very high percentage of those cases are not dropped regardless. Did that answer your question? It is a new way of thinking about who helps, why we help, when we help, what is help.
Yeah, I guess my question is more like, what's the go to market, I guess, like as a business, right? So how do you, like, I get what you want to do. I think it's great, but like, how do you actually make it work, right? Like, how do you start to acquire quote unquote customers for this product, right? Like, and I know you'd mentioned bars, bars and pubs. So I'm just curious, like what's the pitch to them, right? Like, or something.
You'd be astonished at how many calls bars put out to the police for drunk duty or men puffing their chests or maybe a sexual assault or, argument, and fingers are pointed every other which direction. Where's the data? It's hearsay, and so all that confusion, one person gets the finger pointed and they're going to jail. So, they started out from like, an ability to sort people out and get them to a destination where they'll be safe. As far as businesses, people calling the homeless, and people are worried that they might be attacked by homeless people. And, that's not always that's not typically the case. Statistics show that people with mental problems are not violent. It's not a correlation that's directly associated. So oftentimes apartment complexes have a personal guard service, but when you get to houses, they don't typically have an alternative dial out for de-escalation. My ex-boyfriend showed up at my door. I don't want to call the cops, but I don't want him here. So it's almost an acknowledgement of, we're here to restore the peace, and then, don't you know there's other resources, and don't you know, the legal system is very harmful. As soon as somebody gets involved in legal, actions, it's very difficult to buy your way out, to get your time, your way out. The judgment that is passed on people is huge.
Well, thank you for sharing. Gio, you had a question?
Hey, Lauren.
Hi.
So seems like your proposal or your idea or business, whatever you might want to call it, is like super apropos as well to the times right now, in terms of the national situation in terms of the police violence, or how it's perceived as police violence, is actually the problem that you're solving in many ways, because many of these situations are, even ones that are violent, are really just de-escalation situations, right? So I'm curious if you could maybe give us a scenario I have a little bit of a difficulty actually, deciphering how you see the delivery of the service. So I'm kind of making a bunch of assumptions and different things like that. But could you maybe give a scenario about how your service or how you envision it, like from the point of an incident to the completion of the incident, how it would really, how does it or how would it work out?
Mhm. Oftentimes, if parties are in argument or conflict, typically it's the desire of one to have the other removed. And, the heat of the moment, you can take it down a few levels to restore rational thinking again, rather than emotional thinking. But, say if a couple gets in an argument and they are not wanting to have the other taken away and arrested, then they could call our services. And first we look at it from a legal standpoint. Well, does this party have the right to be here? We assess the legal situation. Are they married? And then, an advisement of removing, one party from the other, separating them for a time being. Perhaps there's intoxication involved. That would also be an option, as we are partnered with some government operations to date to assist with, in a detox place if need be. It's at will though. We are not forcing, we are not making arrests, we are not carrying weapons. So really it's verbally intervening.
And then is there a follow, or do you conceive, or is there a follow through in terms, because it's like the name that you've chosen indicates maybe there's some legal services as well. So is it a follow through all the way through whatever the process might need to happen if somebody does need to be charged or something of that sort?
Yeah, we never, it's illegal to stand in the way of somebody calling EMT or fire or the police. So, we never stand in the way of people choosing to dial out on their own. Yes, we have intermediary services and resolution services. If it was a neighbor conflict.
Got it. Yeah. Wow. Super smart. Now, are you envisioning or pursuing to partner with law enforcement? Because that seems like your natural partner. Like here in Colorado Springs, I don't know if in Denver, but we have a community service officer, and we also have, homeless task force, which are really more police, but like our community service officers are they're not police officers, but they're kind of roughly along the lines of your service, but not really de-escalation. It's more for minor things that they come out for. But do you envision or imagine to partner with law enforcement?
We're aware of the STAR program, and the police are saying they're reimagining policing. And to this day, no, we have not decided we're going to be a ride-along service or a partner with them. I realize they're reshuffling their decks.
Yeah. Seems like there's a, in this whole, what do you call it? Defunding of the police, which is a very negative way of saying that we need services like yours. It's not defunding the police. It's reimagining how situations like you're describing are handled, because law enforcement or force is often not the right way. But it seems real apropos. I just want to suggest to you too, just a really high level contact for you. I don't know if you're familiar with Chris Voss, but he's the author of Never Split the Difference. And he was a lead FBI negotiator. And I would just recommend to you to look him up and connect with him, because he is highly connected to law enforcement and very akin to I mean, he did the kind of work that you're talking about, but in very high risk, you know, situations that needed to be de-escalated. So, you know, he's a very moonshot to make that connection, but he's a super personal person and really on the national stage.
Thank you. I will review his profile, yes, and look into the connection.
Yeah, thanks.
Do you have any other questions, by the way, from anyone, or thoughts or feedback? Just feel free to unmute.
Yeah, I have a question about the revenue model and who's the customer, who pays, and what is your revenue model, or what are your revenue models?
Excellent question. While a number of our volunteers, we have about 15 people currently, all volunteer based. And while they voted to keep it a free model for people, I said it'll get overused and abused. You know, we can't provide a free service. Majority of services aren't free. While we can train the public how to for free, or maybe a minimal charge on de-escalation, we still need to charge for service, and we will provide, you know, a quality service. So there will be a charge for going out on site to the caller's location, and, you know, charging a fee. And our model does appear that, you know, 50% of people will actually pay a bill. If they could call 911, why would they pay for it, right? Well, somebody's paying for it, and tax dollars are paying for it. And so it's revealing, you know, that by charging, we are looking at a model of $100 among parties. That's a very reasonable resolution. We're also looking at sponsorships, and again, business relationships where they wouldn't have the full charge, but they would have a portion of it to keep them protected, but not wanting to get into a security level situation. Again, we want to say everyday people can resolve for everyday people. So until we start bringing in revenue, you know, we haven't set up a model where we're paying responders to go on site. It's currently nonprofit, 501c3.
Cool. Well, thank you, Lauren, for sharing. I know it's always hard to do this sort of ad hoc and on the fly, but we appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
No, thank you. I feel like everyone wants you to be successful. So, because like it's absolutely needed. I do agree with Gio and you know, and Jeff a little bit. I think like finding a way to be official or aligned. Like if you're to default, like police are like, oh, this is bullshit. We're not dealing with this guy. Like you call these people to help you, right? And I think also turning it around to not purely reactive cases, but where, you know, like a very accessible sort of mediation, arbitration sort of service, like seems really good. I also think it takes some of what I view at least is like potentially some liability. Like I could see someone getting sued for kidnapping by basically like, you know, like removing someone from a place, right? Like, because like it seems like you technically are putting your people at risk, introducing them into like a violent situation where, you know, or potentially a dangerous environment, right? And so like it feels like there's a lot of other concerns there. But I think the more that you move it to a proactive thing where people aren't coming to you like, where you're not inserting yourself into like a drunk situation, but where maybe there's an ongoing challenge that people want some reconciliation for, I think it at least disintermediates some of the risk, right? Like of those other sides, but still provides a lot of value. So there may be some opportunity like in just creating more longevity, and also something standing as opposed to something that's happening sort of ad hoc. You know, like a different form of therapy, maybe, you know, like, or, you know, because arbitration is very expensive and most people won't use it because of that. But I think if you can make an accessible version of arbitration, like I think that's a huge win for a lot of people. You know, there's a ton of executive coaches out there that are arbiters between basically like co-founders and other executives, and like they get paid, you know, $1,000 an hour to like sit there and like, you know, settle an argument between two people. So I think to the extent that you have that skill set and you can start to apply it to more of these use cases, would be pretty wonderful. And by all means, if I can help at all, let me know. I'm absolutely glad to do that as well. If anyone does need to reach me, by the way, I'll put my email in here. It's Gregarious at Foundercraft. We are always looking for more presenters. We are always looking for folks to come share their expertise, their knowledge. We're also always happy. Ali and I are here to help support you in your endeavors. So if you just need feedback or someone to bounce ideas off of, we're also available for that as well. Are there any community announcements, by the way? So anything going on in the next week or two, that you want to make sure folks check out or give you some support?
I've got one, Gregarious.
Go.
Yeah, so if anybody here has been thinking about developing an online course to monetize your expert skills, I'm going to be hosting a webinar tomorrow to share the principles that I use to build an immersive learning course that earned over $100,000. And in the tradition of entrepreneurialism, I'm going to be really sharing all the mistakes that I made at the beginning and how to avoid them. I'll drop the connection to it. I'm going to be doing it through Zoom and on Eventbrite. I'll drop it into the chat window.
Yeah, that sounds super cool.
Hey,
appreciate that.
Would you mind sending me an email with that? And I can share it with Good Elephants teachers because it might be helpful for them. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm putting it in the Slack real quick, but Gio, can you also make sure to mail Alan?
To Ali. Okay, sure. I just put the link right in the chat window, so you can click right on it, and it'll bring you right over to the registration point and give you all the information.
That sounds great, Gio, because I'm helping a bunch of creators and influencers create their own courses as well to monetize. So
that's exactly it. Yeah.
That may be really cool for them as well. I have, by the way, next Wednesday evening, we have Founders Live. So if any startups out there, small businesses would like to pitch, it's a pitch competition, 99 seconds with 4 minutes of Q&A. You win $5,000 in Amazon Web Services credits for your presentation and $10,000 to the winner. I think we have a couple of winners here right now. So yeah. So there's still room for making more. Jade, I sent you an email already, so hopefully you can do it next week.
Yeah, I'm totally in. That's great.
All right, great. I love giving away that money. It's Amazon's money, so I don't care. But yeah, if anyone else is interested, by all means, just shoot me an email. I have I think a few slots open. So if you know anyone else, also outside of our little group here, who's an entrepreneur.
Is there a link for that, or do you want us just to email you?
Email me is the best way, and I will shoot you back some material. But usually, foundercraft.com/founderslive. I need to update this page, but that's where I usually keep the info about it.
Okay, cool. Thanks.
All right, everyone. Well, thank you so much.
I have an announcement.
Okay,
if you don't mind. So my company, Good Elephant, is hosting a few new virtual discussion groups. One is around climate change and what we can do in our communities to kind of work towards that. And then another one is around social good. So Lauren, everything you're talking about would be so, welcome in that group. And we do also have we call it the Elephant Collective, which is for teachers, leaders, and healers to kind of get to know each other, collaborate, network with each other. And so I'll put all three of those in the chat too. And we'd love to have you. The Good Earth, it's called, the climate change discussion is on Tuesday evenings. The social good discussion is on Wednesday evenings, and we're just getting those going. We had a really great conversation last night. We're gonna start doing some kind of field trips to local community solar power grids so that people can actually see that what it looks like and that it's an option to switch your power to that and stuff like that. So I'll put it in the chat, and we'd love to see you guys there.
Awesome. Thanks, Ali. give everyone 1 second to grab Ali's link, and then I think we're going to call it quits for this week, but we will see you back next week at the same time. Looking forward to it. We'll have some more great presentations and some more opportunities to connect with other parts of our community. So bye, everyone. Thank you for being here. Thank you, Lauren, again. Thank you, Jade. We appreciate
thanks,
it.
guys.
Bye-bye, everyone.
Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.
Bye.